There's a version of you that works like a high-end machine. Silent, precise, no hesitation. The version that can sit down and suddenly 3 hours disappear because you slipped into some kind of alternate dimension where time bends in your favor. And then there's the other version, the one you're probably using today, the one that opens a document, blinks twice, and somehow ends up researching whether penguins have regional accents. You know the zone you want. You've tasted it. But most days, it feels locked behind a security door you don't have clearance for. Here's the twist. You're not missing discipline. You're missing the chemical configuration that makes discipline automatic. Focus is not a moral achievement. It's chemistry. A combination of dopamine and acetylcholine, reaching the right balance. When they do, distractions lose access to your mind. This video teaches you how to enter that state intentionally, not accidentally, not once in a lucky month, but on command. Concentration loops. Let's talk about your day, the real version. You sit down with the intention to be efficient, fresh plan, clean desk. You even tell yourself, this time, it's happening. Within minutes, your attention starts drifting like a loose satellite. Not because you're bored, but because your brain is scanning for stimulation. Everything becomes more interesting than the task in front of you. A shadow on the wall, a crumb on your desk, your own thoughts. Your hand drifts to your phone without permission. It's practically running on autopilot. Your brain is the passenger now. You scroll. You snap out of it. You feel annoyed. You try to work. You scroll again. The loop repeats until the day feels wasted. And then comes the self-attack, the "what is wrong with me" soundtrack that plays quietly in the background. This script won't comfort you with soft lines. It will show you the actual mechanics behind that spiral. You're not losing focus by choice. Your chemistry is pulling strings behind the curtain. It's time to take back the control. Neurochemistry. Your brain uses two primary chemicals, dopamine and acetylcholine. Dopamine is your ignition switch. If it's low, every task looks like a gray loading screen. Acetylcholine is your spotlight. It decides how narrow or wide your attention beam is. When it's tight, you lock in. When it's scattered, you behave like a browser with 20 tabs open and none of them loading correctly. Deep focus happens when dopamine remains steady. Acetylcholine narrows the spotlight. That combination forms a mental tunnel where thought becomes clean and distractions lose grip. But here's the issue. Most people sabotage both switches without realizing it. Constant scrolling drains dopamine. Task switching leaks acetylcholine. Random notifications fragment the system. Your brain isn't refusing to focus. It's overloaded, overstimulated, and undercalibrated. Let's fix that. Deep work sequence. You're about to learn the illegal focus protocol, a sequence designed to shift your brain into the neurochemical zone, even when you feel tired or unfocused. No hyped-up motivational speeches, just mechanics, just design. Cognitive reset. Your brain is noisy, thoughts firing in every direction. Random worries, micro-stress from messages you saw 3 hours ago. You need to wipe the internal static. Sit still for 30 slow breaths, not to be peaceful, but to regain prefrontal control. Slow breathing reduces the limbic noise that scatters acetylcholine. It gives your mind one channel instead of 10. Without this reset, you're trying to focus on a system full of glitches. Dopamine ignition. If your dopamine is flat, your brain won't let you start anything challenging. It's like trying to turn on a car with a near-dead battery. Microtasks fix that. Pick something tiny. Open the project. Write one sentence. Clean one spot on your desk. Respond to one message. Completing something small raises dopamine just enough to push the engine into a ready state. This is you turning the key. Attention tunnel. Here comes the part where everything changes. Set a timer for 20 minutes. Pick one task. Follow one rule. No switching. This is not about perfect focus. It's about refusing the micro switches that drain acetylcholine. Switching is like punching holes in a water tank. Your attention leaks instantly. Stay with the task, even if your mind wanders. As long as you don't switch, the chemistry stabilizes. By minute 4 or 5, the tunnel forms. Your thoughts align. Your perception narrows. You slip into the zone. State lock-in. Now that you're in the zone, it's fragile. A single notification can knock you out. A random tab. A tiny, let me check impulse. You prevent the collapse by increasing friction. Phone, far away. Tabs closed. Lighting soft, workspace, clean movement, minimal. This traps your neurochemical balance in the tunnel. Your mind stays steady because nothing is pulling it sideways. This is when focus becomes effortless, mental tuning for low energy days. Some days you wake up feeling like your brain is running on a 20% battery. You don't have the emotional horsepower to do anything structured. The protocol still works. You just shrink it. A quick noise flush, one micro task, 5 minutes of no switching. That's enough to tilt your chemistry in the right direction. Once the shift begins, momentum builds on its own. Even low-energy days can produce clean work if you follow the sequence. Performance identity. There is a deeper transformation happening underneath the chemistry. Every time you run this sequence, your brain receives new evidence. When I enter this setup, I focus. Not when you feel motivated, not when life is perfect, not when the stars align. Just when you follow the design, your identity starts shifting, your brain begins to trust you, and that chaos inside your mind, that reduces. You start perceiving yourself as someone who directs their cognitive systems, not someone dragged around by them. Action creates focus. Focus creates progress. Progress creates inner stability, and that loop becomes automatic. You become someone who operates like a well-calibrated machine. Clarity mode. Let's keep this simple. You don't need motivational noise. You don't need a new personality. You don't need superhuman discipline. What you need are the switches. Dopamine ignition. Acetylcholine narrowing. Task, tunnel, and state lock. Focus is not magic, it's architecture. If you build the setup, the state follows. Try this sequence once. Watch how different your mind feels. And before you leave, hold this thought for a moment. If your focus becomes predictable, what part of your life transforms first?